Many building codes require you to create some sort of a life safety or exiting plan to show the total travel distance to the nearest exit. Now, Revit does have a tool to help us do this. It's not specifically designed as an exiting tool, but with a little bit of help, we can use it for that purpose. Now, I want to stress that the tool I'm about to show you only works in the full version of Revit. So if you have Revit LT, you won't have access to this tool. So what I'm going to do as a step one here is take my level 1 floor plan, right click that and duplicate the view. Now I'm going to duplicate this one without any detailing. So all the dimensions and the tags are going to disappear when I choose this. And then I will right click and choose rename, and I'll call this level 1 exiting plan. Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. And let's calculate the path of travel from, say, this table here to the exit over here. So I'm going to go to the Analyze tab, and there's a path of travel button right here. So I'll click that, and all you need to do is click 2 points. So I'm going to click behind this chair right here, which seems to me about the farthest distance away. And then I'll click near the doorway right here. And what Revit will do is it will find the shortest unobstructed path between those 2 points. Notice that it went around the furniture and it went around the walls over here. So it's kind of an interesting tool that helps us make these calculations. Now, furthermore, if I kind of click here and then go to here, it'll calculate a different path of travel. And you can see very clearly in this case that it is taking into account the furniture items. Now, if I click the Modify tool to cancel out of there, on the root analysis panel is a small down pointing arrow icon. This is a dialog launcher icon. And if I click that, you can see the root analysis settings. So you can see here at the top the items that it will automatically ignore when it's considering obstacles. And then down here, there's a checkbox that says, in addition, and you can check different categories that you want to have it ignore as obstacles. In other words, doors is selected by default. And what that means is if you click 2 points and there's a door in between, it will assume that people can open that door and walk through, so it won't consider that to be an obstacle. Now, furniture is not checked, which is why it was going around furniture in our case. If I were to check that and click OK, and then do another path of travel, say from here to here, it will go right across the furniture, which wouldn't really give me a very accurate path of travel, because unless we want people throwing those tables out of the way in order to get out of the space, then that really wouldn't be considered a very good path of travel. So I'm going to go back to the settings here and uncheck furniture. Now, unfortunately, there isn't something here to add in a custom obstacle. So what I mean by that is, let's do one more path of travel, and I'm going to start right over here by this far booth on the left-hand side, and then click over at the exit. And this time, Revit thought that the fastest path of travel would be to go behind the prep station over there. Well, I don't really like that path of travel, because to me, I don't think I'd want people exiting out behind here. There might be trays in the way, there might be other stuff in the way. That's not really the best route for them to follow. Now, short of actually building some obstacle geometry here, there really isn't any way for me to customize this path. So notice that when I select this path, it doesn't have any kind of controls on it. So I'm really kind of limited in that respect. So what I've found is kind of a workaround for this. It's a little bit silly, but if I delete that path and put something in the way, so I'm just going to use an architectural column for this, and I'll just do a square column and maybe put one right there. That's enough of an obstacle now that if I go back to path of travel, it will go around that. Then I can come back, select that column, and just simply delete it. And this path is not affected unless you select it and choose update. So it is possible to update a path later. For example, this one that's going over the tables, if I update that, it will sense now that tables should be an obstacle, and it will recalculate that path. So that is a nice feature, that you can individually update each path. So if you have one that you've kind of artificially created an obstacle for, just keep that in mind, that you might have to add that obstacle back in again. Now, once you've created these path of travel objects, you can tag them using the standard tag by category. And when I select this, it'll say I don't have a path of travel tag loaded. So I'll say yes. I need to back up a few steps here to my annotations folder and then go down into the folder here and locate a path of travel tag, open that. And then if I tag that item, and let's zoom in, you can see that that path of travel is just about 86 feet, and Revit calculates that it would take about 20 seconds. So that's a nice feature of these paths as well, as you can tag each one. And then when you create this exiting plan and give it to your building official, you can have a conversation about whether or not you're meeting code requirements.